All right, we're coming on. Oh, waking up this morning. Looks like we got Facebook online, YouTube online, and Twitch is online. Here we go, folks. So I've got my draw deck up at the moment, just taking a look to see if anything came out from Kaldheim that would be a nice inclusion. I don't think so. Um, I mean, this is a really outside the box game plan. Not that it. Um, Like it's not unique as in other people aren't going to play it, but it's unique as in you're not going to see a lot of cards supporting it. So the premise here is really Underworld Dreams, and then if you're really lucky, you can also stick a Peer into the Abyss. Force your opponent to draw tons of cards and lose tons of life. And of course, we use several other things to get there. Storm Crusader is a really good one, and then because of cards like Storm Crusader, we're also drawing cards. So we do have Irencrag Pyromancer. But then Ob Nixilis also does essentially the same thing that Underworld Dreams does. So it gives us some redundancy, which is really nice. Yeah. But anyway, I was just checking to see if there's anything there. And pretty much no. Not any support there, which isn't a big surprise. I was kind of going through a lot of my older stuff to see what may and may not have support. I haven't looked at Ascendancy yet. Let's see what it has. Simic Ascendancy is a deck I really enjoy. It's a card I really enjoy, rather. I guess the deck too, but I really like alternate win cons. So the goal here, of course, is to get 20 counters on Simic Ascendancy. And they're called growth counters. But you get a growth counter anytime another creature gets a 1/1 counter. But you can also use proliferate. So that's kind of the game plan there. Why do I have only one? Oh, yeah, I've only got one copy of Territorial Skith Cat. That's funny. Okay. Not entirely sure why I would go there. Let's just do a quick search and see if anything. I'm pretty sure I did not see the proliferate mechanic itself, so we're just going to see if there's anything that we really like as far as putting counters on. Okay, so this, do I have a copy of this? Yes, I do have a copy of this. So at the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile Cosima. If you do, it gains whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control. If Cosima is exiled, you may put a voyage counter on it. If you don't, return it to the battlefield with X counters and draw X cards. So that's not bad. Let's just try it out. See what happens. Enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter. Meh. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stay away from Finn. I've seen a lot of people playing Finn. I get it. We haven't had poison counters in Historic, but I have an aversion to poison counters. I think because I've lost to it in Commander, where it's like you go from having 40 life to only needing 10 counters, and it's really annoying. So I'm going to pass on playing that strategy. I typically don't play strategies I don't want to face. I know that's probably not I don't know. It's not the most competitive way to look at it. We'll go that way. Has got no pants. Really good. Pro Black Knight. Are these new? Hamhawks 42? Oh my goodness, guys. Good morning. Or wherever you're at. Good whatever. I don't even recognize these names jumping in my chat. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Okay, so anyway, you heard me talking about the Simic Ascendancy that I'm looking at, maybe adding some things from Kaldheim to. Maybe, maybe not. It was a raid. Who organized this raid? You're my best friend now, whoever you are. This is awesome. Alright. I think we're good. Pro Black Knight. Love the usernames too. Awesome. Okay, well, since you're gonna raid, I'm gonna get a game in. Let's quit diddling around here. That would be me, Hamhawks42. Awesome. You are the best. All right, let's do some. Oh, good. We've got. Okay, so I do want to pay attention to the quest. It's what I do. So okay, red and green spells. Let's see what I've got. That would be really good to knock out 750 coins, red and green. Well, I actually had just been playing my trample deck recently, so we might run that. Yeah, let's do that. Well, Giants is also an option. Giants might be a little more janky. Let's do that. I'd prefer to play something a little more on the janky side. So let's knock out some Giants. I've really enjoyed the fact that it got support because I had already built this before Kaldheim, and then Kaldheim came in and just really supported this fun build. So... and I've played it since then, but I'm kind of still working on it. Oh yeah, yeah. So did you build because of Kaldheim, or have you already had something going? This is the first game I've played this morning since I booted up the computer, so hopefully it doesn't. So if you built because of Kaldheim, I'm going to guess you probably leaned heavily on blue and red, which I did shift a little bit, especially towards red. I got rid of some green giants that were in from, I think it was Throne of Eldraine, that I moved out of my previous deck to make room for some of the really cool ones. Yeah, so I'm not a blue player, so I was really excited that red also got good giant support. I now have... yeah, so I've got the red. So here's my thing. I built so many things, I didn't have enough wild cards to go around. I really wish I would have maybe saved more. Oh, okay, one of these. We get a draw. I wish I would have saved more red wild cards for giants, because there are some really good ones. Alright, is he going to let me out now? I'm clicking. Oh, I wonder if it's freezing up. It did this yesterday where it says click to continue, but it's not doing it. And this might be the game bugging out as much as it is my computer, because usually I have about maybe one game just to get the computer woken up. Yeah, gonna have to. So frustrating. Okay, well, you guys know what that means. I'm gonna have to restart. Hey, before I do that, I don't want to lose you guys. So please subscribe and do all those fun things. Share with your buddies and like, and do that stuff. So hey, I'm gonna try to restart the game, so you don't have to go anywhere, but if you do, please subscribe first. I'm trying to get the subscriber up to the affiliate amount, which is 50, and my goal is to do a drawing when I get there. So I've got some blue cards I've been digging through because I'm kind of a non-blue player. I've got some really cool blue stuff that I just soon give away. So I'm going to do a drawing, give away some cards, physical cards, paper cards, and obviously, Captain Obvious here. But yeah, we'll give away some stuff. Well, I don't know how to not restart and fix this one, because it is not really letting me click anything. I can't even click on the options. So, okay, like I said, you don't have to go anywhere, but I'm going to have to restart, I think. Let's see. Alright, we're going to have to try it. Alright. See how long it takes. So, yeah, I can't click anything. And it's frustrating because my computer is a little bit older, not the best. So it takes about a game some mornings to really get it woken up. And then it's great. Like, I usually don't have bad streams as far as technology goes once I get it going. Now, sometimes it takes a little bit to get it going. So it is frustrating thinking, oh yeah, the computer is right on track, and then now we have a bug. I'm like, oh, really? I don't need Arena to give me trouble. I just need once the computer's going good. But looks like it's getting back in line here. So what we're about to do, we're about to play Giants. I'm really bad with names early on, so I don't have the Kaldheim names down yet with the Giants. So I know the Realm Cloaked Giant is one of the ones that really got me to build this, which is the white. It's like a 7/7 with Vigilance for 7, but then you can pay 5 for its adventure and destroy all non-giant creatures. So I've actually had a really good luck with that. Getting a few giants on my side of the board and then wiping everybody else's off the planet. So, obviously, Bone Crusher Giant is a must. He's very meta. So, yeah, you can't not have Bone Crusher, I suppose. The Mecha Godzilla. What's the? I actually don't remember what the. Because he has another name. But all of mine have the card style, so it has Mecha Godzilla at the top. I can't remember his other name. Is it Crystalline Giant? Yeah, hey, we were almost simultaneous there. Thanks, HamHawk42. Yeah, Crystalline Giant's pretty cool. That's one of the mainstays in that deck for me. And I have to admit, I kind of, as frustrating as it can be sometimes, I like the randomness of it. It's almost like, opening a Christmas present. Like, what's it going to get this time? Oh, it's hexproof, or, oh, it's lifelink. And then other times I'm like, oh, I really need this thing to gain lifelink, and it doesn't. It's like, where is it at? I need that. Yeah, hopefully it's not too glitchy this morning, and we can get some games in. I mean, I can sit here and continue to talk and make an attempt at entertaining people, but I'm pretty sure a game would be more entertaining. Alright, here we go. Red and green. We'll try Giants. I don't have as much green anymore, but I do have some. I actually use a lot of green in here. I'll go and show my deck list here in a minute. I use a lot of green in here for ramp. Because before Kaldheim, you really needed ramp for a Giants deck. Outside of Crystalline Giant and Bone Crusher Giant, there was nothing cost effective CMC wise. Now we've got some better options with Kaldheim. Yeah, so there's some ramp there. Yeah, Squash is pretty fun. This was a really cool addition from Kaldheim. So this is a keeper. 250 cards. I guess 250. 246, 247 technically. I don't comprehend building. Maybe you guys build these big decks. I don't think I could even do the math on the land. I guess that's not true. I could, but that's my first thought. I'm like, oh, I got to figure that out though. I got to do the math. All right, so again, not Bone Crusher, but Realm Cloak does a lot of work for me usually. We'll try to ramp. Let's see. We can do. Let's go an island into Invasion of the Giants. Yeah, really. But I don't find Mill to be a particularly great strategy anyway. Okay, I only have one copy of Cinderheart Giant because I feel like it's so costly, but I do ramp. So I want to throw one copy in to find out what I like, or if I like it. I kind of do. This gives me more ramp. I'm going to go ahead and scry it away for now because it's not going to be useful for a while, even with my ramp. So, get rid of that. Yeah, I just, you can't mill it out, but I can't imagine how you can, how is it consistent? I don't know. I really wish I used one of those apps that everybody uses to calculate stuff and whatnot. I'd like to know what my win rate versus these, decks that are like over 150 cards. That might be interesting to know. Yeah, we can reveal a giant card. Why not? And speaking of mill, it is sometimes surprising that strategy stays around as long as it does. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go white because I want to make sure when the time comes I have plenty of land for that. And then I think instead of invasion, I'm going to go ahead and cultivate. And so I've got white coming, so I don't need more white because that's really where I need most of that. Let's go with a mountain. That we'll need. Might as well put the mountain down first. Yeah, so we'll have plenty of white for that. I feel like I feel like my win rate versus mill is pretty good. I don't have the numbers to show it, but it always feels that way. I'm almost, and I think the other thing that is really fun when I get a okay, let me think, because I actually have had plenty of games where it was really convenient to have an extra one of these in my hand. So I think I might leave that. I think I might go ahead and leave both of those. Yeah, let's just go ahead and keep that. I really enjoy playing my graveyard decks versus mill because they just help me out. I've got a Abzan graveyard deck that I like to play. It's not the most competitive, or it's not like a top tier deck or anything for sure, but it's a lot of fun because there's so much interaction going on. Putting things in your graveyard, getting them out of your graveyard, and then when a mill deck shows up, it's like, oh, you came to help me. Thanks, appreciate it. And so here's my thing about mill. I've found lately, in my opinion, mill has been very similar to a discard deck. So I've come up against a lot of discard decks, and I always feel like they're the same way in that. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I meant to kick that. But they're similar in that discard decks always fizzle out because, yeah, they got rid of my stuff, but they don't interact very well with the board, or they also tend to not have enough board state of their own. And so if I can just get going. Speaking of getting going, I have got to go ahead and use that. We're running out of life. There we go. Okay. So I keep casting these and I'm running out of basic land, which is fine because I'm also filling up my graveyard. I have a couple of copies of Euro. I call him Euro. I think that's probably a mispronunciation, but and I can get him back. Okay, that's a no fun card, and I don't think I have anything in here to deal with it, so we're just going to have to get around it. But let's go here. See, now I got all the land, I can start throwing down the big stuff. And hopefully it sticks. Because this is so far... I mean, is it it's not vampires, because there's... I don't know what it... I guess it's cheap cost blue and black, which makes sense with Gruesome Menagerie, but I don't know. Okay, so the death touch bothers me. Outside of that, I'm not too worried. We may actually have to spend 6 damage to kill that just because it's death touch. So that's looking like the plan next turn. I'll have these two available without summoning sickness. Kill that one, swing in. Or I could just kill them all again. Oh, that sounds like way more fun. Let's just kill them all. Yeah, we'll take that. Although we're getting, gosh, our life total is taking a beating this game. Okay. Alright, the good thing is we don't have to survive much longer, because we're about to throw down so much damage. This turn. Next turn. Our opponent either takes out one or both of our creatures, or has at least 2 blockers, or we've won the game. Yeah, Realm Cloak Giant does so much work here. Pretty much just won us the game, I think. This long pause feels like we're about to see concede. Oh, maybe not. Okay, there's one blocker. Oh, down to 1. Okay, unless there's something I don't know about, the math says we won. With 1 life. But that's pretty much the way this one works. Just try to capitalize on the Realm Cloak Giant for the most part. Alright, we're about to get back to Platinum. Last season was my worst season I could remember, and it came on the back of a Mythic season. So the season before, I made Mythic for the first time, and then last season, it seemed like I spent the whole season in Plat 4. Just couldn't get out of that rut. It was crazy. And we're almost back there. Anyway, I'll pull that deck up real quick and skim through it. But so again, it is a little bit different because I built it before. Where did it go? There it is. I built it before Kaldheim, and I just adjusted it. And I need to get more wild cards because the new ones, especially like Calamity Bearer is amazing, but I don't have the wild cards yet. I've got Quakebringer. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't played with it enough. I haven't quite figured it out. This one is really good, Battle of Frost and Fire. I should get some wild cards for that as well. But again, I was using a lot of ramp because, again, before Kaldheim, I didn't have these good options. So I had to have a lot of ramp to get to things. Of course, I put the Great Henge in almost everything. I love this card. Absolutely love it. And then, of course, the mana base. So it's always up for tweaking. It's pretty much the reality of my decks, but I think we do it again. I rarely play the same deck for an entire stream, so we'll see how long I can play this one. If I don't finish the quest soon, I might switch to my Trample, Gruul Trample. Yeah, this is... I need to... Okay, so I'll keep this, but I need to go find an island so I can cast Euro. And I think I've only got like 1 island anyway. Yep. Okay, so there we go. So we can turn 3 Euro, which will actually let us put another land down. That'll be nice. Oh, okay. Prowess. I haven't seen that in a while. It is interesting. I saw somebody post something on one of the Facebook groups this morning about how it feels like sometimes you see more meta decks in the earlier ranks, the Platinum, Gold, and then maybe, and then it seems like by the time you get up into Diamond, especially Mythic, people are at that point finally willing to play test stuff, and like they're comfortable enough with their grind that they're trying out stuff. And the person who made the comment was really confused by it. They're like, "Why are you playing? You know, oh, is this white too?" See, that was a misplay. I should have went red, not white. Oh well. Oh well. I can go find a mountain. So, not the worst thing in the world, but not what I wanted to do. Oh great! Look, I got it. Okay, and if you didn't know, these, when they come out of your hand like this, they have to go down face up. You can't choose. That's one of those things you don't want to find out about the hard way. Yeah, it is funny. Here we go. This is mill. Um, it's not that mill's not a good strategy. I just, I don't know. I mean, every once in a while I'll definitely lose to it, but it feels like I have a good win rate. So I don't usually get frightened by it. We'll see. It might prove me wrong this time. Nice. Well, the other thing is, I usually carry more stuff to get rid of enchantments and artifacts. I have not included that in this deck yet, and that could be a problem. Um, that could prove to be a problem. Okay. So we got rid of the prowess and whatnot. That's helpful. So we're going to scry 3 on the next one. I haven't used this card a ton, so I'm going to keep reading it all the time. Okay, Crackling Drake. Well, we're not hurting for land right now. That's good. I actually think I might keep all of this, but reorder it a little bit. Yeah. You can't really use counters? Oh wait, is that... No. Okay, I thought it lit up like I could play it. I think it just lit up that I could play it if I had the right land. I think I'm still missing another blue. I need another blue. Okay, now what is the last one? Whenever you cast a spell, convert them as for this turn, draw cards and draw 2 cards and discard a card. Okay. Okay, so the mill is helping that. Okay, let's go. Let's go here. We need to take care of that. Okay, and then I need to discard. You know, we can discard land at this point. Down to 30 cards in the deck. Okay, I really like this one. This reminds me of, and I didn't play much with it when it was out, but I did see it in play a little bit. It reminds me of Dash, if you remember the Dash mechanic. It was never on Arena, so if you didn't play before Arena. But you can play it, it's got haste, and then it comes back to your hand. I find that really helpful sometimes. What are we down to now? 26, 24. Okay, he's starting to pick up the pace. This is no bueno. Teferi's Aegis Insight. I love this card in decks that I play, but I don't want to see it here. Yikes. Okay, there's the other blue that we need to start casting Euro, but we can't do it just yet. Alright, let's go ahead and have this stick, so we'll go there. Okay, we're starting to pick up the pace a little bit now, which we needed to do badly. Alright, let's go ahead and hit him in the face. Okay, so now the race is a little more competitive here. We're still losing cards and the rate is getting a little faster than we like, but we're finally picking up the pace here. Interesting. What was that? Huh. Now what are we down to? 17? Ah, see, I really need some removal. I didn't pack much removal in this deck at all. It does great against creature-based decks, but yeah. Okay, we'll get down what we have there. Let me think here. So I'm going to go with the hinge draw. Because even though we're losing cards from my deck, I could use a little bit more card draw, I think. Okay, we know we want to go there. Oh, I guess it would have been maybe... Well, no, because trample. We don't need the life gain. And let's see, it doesn't matter what we get rid of. Hey, good morning, Buzz. All right. Okay. Oh, this is getting a little tense because the down to 14, we really need to put it away sooner than later. I think if we can survive another turn, we're okay. But oddly enough, there's no guarantee we're going to survive another turn. But I think that's what we need to do. Survive one more turn, I think we can put it away. I don't know, with these being creatures and not having trample, 2 damage. Oh, I've got enough copies of Bone Crusher, but where are they at? Are they in here? Oh, I don't see any yet. Oh, there's one. So I still have 1 copy of Bone Crusher in the deck somewhere. So we could get that last 2 damage. Oh, that would be so nice to draw that. If I can survive this turn. 11. Oh, we're definitely going to survive the turn. Oh, and there's no... Wait, but these can become blockers. So we really need Bone Crusher. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, what is it? This is a new card that I haven't played enough. I don't remember well enough what it does. Okay, let's go back. I have not played that card enough. Was it... At the beginning of your upkeep, Quakebringer does 2 damage to each opponent. This ability triggers only if Quakebringer is on the battlefield or if it is in your graveyard and you control a giant. That's awesome. We just won the game with a card sitting in our graveyard. That's sweet right there. Giants just got better without me even knowing it. Way to go, Giants. Okay. So now I'm kind of at this conundrum. Do I... Like, the deck is functioning in a way that I do like and I do enjoy, but I keep thinking we really could have used some artifact and enchantment, or enchantment particularly removal, which makes me wonder... excuse me. I don't have any outside of the Great Hinge. I don't carry any artifacts or enchantments in the deck. So which makes me think maybe Cleansing Nova would be good. Yeah, Gem Razor. Because if you mutate, then the original giant keeps its creature type. So that's true. But do I have room for another creature? I have to really do some thinking on that. Do I want to add another creature at this point? But I do have 4 copies of Gem Razor that I don't have to craft, so that's an upside. But I've got so much. I actually don't like that I've got 71 cards. But I also really like the ramp, because even though we do have more low-cost stuff than we did before, I do like the ramp. I almost feel like I don't need Squash, because Realm Cloak Giant does so much work. I'm going to drop that, I think. Reach and Trample, yeah, that's true. Gem Razor is a good choice. Do I want to... cut anything else to get it. How am I doing on land? What have I got? 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20. We're at 26, which out of 69 is probably not too bad. What do I want to cut to fit in? I don't know. I could just throw them in and just not cut anything yet and then figure it out later. Just figure it out later. No big deal. That puts us at 73 with 26 land. And the thing is, we do go through so much of the deck with, searching for so much land. And if I can get a hinge out, we get card draw. We can scry. We get to scry with both the invasion and the Battle of Frost and Fire. What am I doing on wild cards? I really don't have enough to really want to throw down another, but I really like this one. I don't know. We'll hold off for now. But yeah, we move through so much land that it does help us get to a lot of the other cards. So we get consistency even though we're way over 60. But I've got to figure out what to cut anyway, because at some point I do want more copies of those new rare and mythic giants from Kaldheim. Those are really, really good. So something's going to have to go at some point. This thing can't keep growing forever. Alright, this is a keeper. This is a keeper. I mean, we're still not as bad as the 247 card deck we played a little while ago. So I guess I can't be too down on my deck size. But you always get, I guess, the most consistency the closer you are to the minimum. Alright, what do I want to grab? So I've got those triomes, which gives me almost everything. But I think we might need a mountain sooner than later. Maybe a plains too. Okay, well that can go down white. I can't cast anything for 2, so let's go ahead and get a triome down tapped. I think I've got all the colors I need, so we're good there. I had a really long, bad game not long ago where I was stuck trying to find a second plains. anything to give me a second white mana, because I had... Oh, I might keep... I don't know. Let's go ahead and scry that one, I guess. Well, I don't necessarily need the land right now either. We'll just scry them both. I had a pretty big board, and my opponent had a big board. I had a Realm Cloak Giant. I think I even had 2 copies, and I went so long without getting out that second plains or white mana that I ended up losing the game sitting on a board wipe. That was pretty frustrating. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead. We can go with another tapped land since we only need 3 this turn. So that worked out pretty well. And we got Death Touch. Spin the wheel. What do we get? Can't imagine the face of the mill guy when he sees the flavor. Yeah, it's like, oh, this is going to take a while. But again, like that... man, do I want to give up my... Yeah, actually I think I do. I think we'll give it up. But what if that 247 card deck just fizzles out? Like, how embarrassing is that, though, if you're the guy with the 247 card deck and you lose to the mill player? That's bad. Alright, we get our giant and go fetch some more land. I wish I could fetch my... Ooh. Okay. That's how it's going to be. I guess we can expect to see some more counters now. Or maybe not a lot of counters. They're still showing... potential creature-based deck here. Let's just go ahead and call their bluff. There we go. I don't know. I tend to be the more aggressive player. Now that I have reach, I could just sit back and block, but yeah, I'd rather not. I'd rather be aggressive here. Alright, so here's the kicker. We're probably going to be casting into a counter spell, so let's attack first and see if anything else comes out. Nope. So do we risk losing, or do we wait? I think we just wait. We're dealing damage right now. Wait and see if they'll tap. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we know we're not casting into a counter spell. Okay. I think I'm going to maybe sit on those gem razors a little longer. I mean, it would only... I mean, well, I don't know. I've got 2 of them. Let's just play one. Let's just... Oh, but I can't yet because I don't have enough to mutate it. When I get enough, I'm just going to go ahead and play one. Okay, let's go here. Now that I've got first strike, I can block and kill. Well, I guess the 3-3-2-3 I would have fine. But I was fine anyway, but I still like the first strike a lot. Oh, okay. But still no counter spell. So we're good with that. Oh, first strike and death touch. I bet they didn't catch on to that, because I'd forgotten about it too. Love it. First strike and death touch. Oops. Alright, let's go down. Oh yeah, that's an enchantment. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Alright, we'll go here. There we go. I can't believe I missed that on the first one. Okay, this feels like we might have it in hand. I might be getting ahead of myself here. There's still a lot of cards in our opponent's hand and none in ours, but I don't know, a board wipe right here, Wrath of God, and we lose because I don't think I can build back up near fast enough. Yeah, time wipe, Wrath of God, something. Yep, I saw that coming. What do you do now? Well, there we go. Maybe we've got now we still have lethal damage on the board. So see what they've got now. That was a good draw, picking up Bone Crusher right away. Alright, what does this do? This is from Kaladesh Remastered. Enters a battlefield, you gain 2 life and draw 2 cards. Nice. Nice, your opponents can't gain life. This is... Oh, I need to craft more of these. I've only got 1 mythic wild card left though. I went a little crazy with the new set, but the problem is I go crazy in so many different decks that I don't end up with any good play sets of anything, because I'm like, oh, I want one of these and one of these and one of these. Oh, see, it triggers from the graveyard, but not from exile. That's a bummer. Oh. that was a horrible draw. I think the board wipe might have done us in. I'm not sure what we've got. Especially if they start getting some counter spells. I don't know. Oh, I got such a bad feeling about this now. I think we're toast. Gonna gain... Excuse me, they're gonna gain life. Okay, here we go. Sponsored by Wizards of the Coast. Yeah, maybe somebody should tell them that. I do not have a direct line to Wizards of the Coast. I do not know how to tell them that. Okay. So, the upside here is they have to leave something up to block. The downside is their blocker can handle my attacker. Infinite gems and cards. Yeah, how am I going to get that? I'm like a puny little streamer. I'm not even an affiliate on Twitch yet. I've been streaming regularly, meaning, 5 days a week for all of... Has it been 2 months? I don't even think it's been 2 months. Maybe a month and a half, maybe 6 weeks, somewhere in there. I'm pretty sure I'm not on Wizards radar. I'd love to be on Wizards radar. That would be awesome. Oh, this is bad. There's no coming back, I don't think. Well, I do have trample, but now they're up to 9. Let's try it. I mean, there's no need to give up. Okay. And actually, they have to block, and we have to get this back. We might still be okay. Oh, this is so crazy. It's almost tense at this point, because... Okay. Down to 3, and we get the Quakebringer back. Now the only catch is, if there's another time wipe, we're done. This is way closer than I thought it was going to be. After that first board wipe, I thought we were going to be just done. So I'm still learning, the whole atmosphere and how the streaming community works and everything. So this is the first time I've been rated, and I haven't quite figured out how it all works. So I'm still learning. But yeah, it does seem like there's potential for a lot of support within the community. I do appreciate that. Well, it was a lot closer than I thought it would be. I really am not surprised we lost. That board wipe really done us in. But I do like that there's... it was still competitive. I do like that. I think had there been more counterspells, we would have been out a long time ago. Because we could deal with other threats for a little while. The Gem Razor wasn't too bad either. I wish I hadn't have misplayed that first one. And just held on to it longer. Wait, packs? We have packs? I don't remember getting a pack. Well, let's open a pack. Hey, I needed that badly. Okay, I'm trying to decide if I like this card or not. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a night counter on Replicating Ring. Then if it has 8 or more night counters on it, remove all of them and create 8 colorless snow artifact tokens named. So how many do you have to have? 8? So I guess if you're playing Proliferate, this would be really good. Otherwise, it just sits there for 8 turns. Like, by the time you get to 8 turns, I don't know. Jorn, God of Winter. and Cauldring the Rime Staff. I think I have at least one of these already. Maybe I need to consider building around it. You may play target snow permanent. So snow permanent can be a land, because it doesn't say non-land permanent. From your graveyard this turn, if you do, it enters the battlefield tapped. Untap each snow permanent you control. So you could, even if you didn't put a lot of snow non-land permanents in your deck, this would work really good just by having snow lands. So maybe I do need to consider building something around this. Untapping all of your lands is a pretty big deal. Anybody built around Jorn yet? That sounds pretty cool. I haven't done anything with Jorn, so maybe it's time. I'm waiting also for the Kaldheim quick draft to do some drafting. I'm horrible at draft, absolutely horrible at it, but slowly but surely I want to get more gems to eventually buy the Mastery Pass. I didn't buy the last Mastery Pass until I was probably at like a level 120 something maybe before I finally bought it, and so I got all those packs in one big windfall. That was a lot of fun opening those packs that way. Excuse me. Alright, we did complete the quest, so I think we should play something different. I don't need the red and green. So some of my decks I did focus on trying to figure out what I could do with new Kaldheim cards, and some I just didn't have much to work with from Kaldheim. Okay, so Wizard March, I got the inspiration for this probably a couple years ago now, at least a year ago or more, because it was when Mirror March was still standard legal, and I'm pretty sure it was MTG Goldfish that I first saw this, and I've just adjusted it a ton since then, because it's one of those decks I don't play very often, but it never leaves my repertoire here, my toolbox. But it really wants to enter the battlefield triggers from wizards. So a lot of older cards. Well, I mean, as older can be in Arena. But yeah, a lot of older cards, not a lot of standard legal. Okay, 2 land. I do have an Opt and a Naven. Actually, I don't like 2 land with this deck, but I can scry. I have Naven, which means I could also cast the Wizard Lightning, all with 2 land. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, but I didn't need another Urion, but that's okay. Okay, so hopefully we can opt into another land. That would be great. Anyway, I pulled this up last night and tried it. Not really sure, by the way. 80-something levels. Oh, really? I haven't looked at that yet. Only 80 levels? Yeah, maybe I need to look at that. Okay, see, Niv Mizzet is going to cost way too much when I'm searching for land. Okay, well, didn't get a land, but I just picked up 2 cards that I can play with 2 land. So this is working. It's not great, but it's working. Yeah, that is really short. But if I can get the Mastery Pass without using dollars, without using any real money, then it's worth it, regardless of how. I guess that's the thing. It doesn't matter how long or how short or whatever, if I can mine the gems with gold. So that's the upside there. Let's get rid of Imperious Perfect. It's a weird name because it's also an adjective. Okay. Still no land, but it's okay. So we can go. If you control another wizard, yeah. And it should trigger twice with Nabin. We don't want to attack here yet, though. So usually this is not such an aggressive deck. So this is actually a really good run. It's usually actually trying to build up to Mirror March, which is expensive. It's like 6. It's 5 and a red. And it's usually a really tough climb to get there. Yeah, I guess blue is fine. Let's go. Let's just go with everything. We're just going to be aggressive now. Like I said, it wasn't really an aggressive deck, but we're going for it now. Don't buy gems too, but the last season had gems in the shop. Yeah, that's true. And I didn't. So when I first saw those gems, let's say 2000. Yeah, so they would do the daily deals, and you would get the gems. And when I first saw them, I thought, oh, I'll just use gems to buy gems, and I won't actually get much out of the deal. But at the time, I wasn't thinking about maximizing that. And it's like, wait a minute, what am I doing with my gold? I don't do enough with it to justify not buying the gems with gold. And so finally, it just clicked. It was like, oh yeah, I'm totally doing this wrong. Okay. This should be the game. So this is the only deck I've ever played Yorion with. I know it's not typical. Everybody has way different builds for that. But for whatever reason, I just saw its potential here, and this is the only place I ever play it. Gold 3. Oh, I had that backwards earlier. I was totally thinking about it back. I don't know why. I've played Arena forever. I know how the levels go, 4, 3, 2, 1, but I had it in my head backwards. I'm like, oh, 4, I'm at the end. No, that is not the case. Waiting for the server. So yeah, this has been sitting way back in the back of my toolbox for so long that I don't play it, and now all of a sudden it's not doing too bad. I picked up a couple wins with it last night, and it won again this morning. I'll play one more at least. Gold is free. Gem is money. Yeah, I know. Okay, so Magic in and of itself, I started late 90s. So I wasn't like early 90s or I guess mid. So let's see, the game came out, what, 93, 94? I think it was probably around 98, maybe 97, something like that when I first played. But then I got out. So I took like a 15-year hiatus. I think I got out right around 2000. So I played for, that's about right, about 3 years or so. This was not the hand to keep with 2 land, though. That last one made sense. This was an oops. So anyway, I got out around 2000 because, graduated high school and thought I was an adult, and adults don't play card games. I do not think that way anymore, obviously, and I wish I hadn't have thought that way then. But anyway, so I got out. Well, okay, so not just the adult thing, to be honest. If you've read my bio, some of it was also religious pressure. So I will admit that, and that's a whole story I don't mind talking about at some point. But anyway, so I got out, but here's the thing. During my hiatus, I discovered things like the Xbox at one time. I played a little bit of Magic the Gathering when they released that. Was that like 2013 or something? I think maybe. When that was released. And so I did play around with that. And then before Arena, I found, was it Magic Duels? Was on PC. Before Arena, that was pretty neat. Actually, I was a little disappointed when they said they were going to quit supporting Duels until I found Arena. So that was pretty neat. But anyway, so I got back in seriously about, let me think, maybe 3 years ago, I got back in seriously. Around the time of Dominaria, when Dominaria was around. Because I think my first, like, purchase when I got back into paper Magic was a Kaladesh Planeswalker deck. It was Nissa. And I remember because in the booster pack that came with it, and it might have come with 2 boosters at that time, I pulled a Chandra, the really good popular Chandra from that set. I don't think it was foiled though, but it was still really cool. Anyway, so yeah, I got back in a few years ago, around Dominaria, Kaladesh, somewhere in there. But I've been like paying attention to it over the years, but really got started back in the late 90s. Okay, so Tempest, the Tempest block was the first block I ever played. Well, that's not true. I started playing before. Tempest was the first new block I ever experienced. I'll put it that way. I think I started playing before Tempest block, and then it came out, and that was the first new block I experienced. When does it get first strike? When it enters the battlefield. Okay. Gosh, do I want... So here's the thing. I have the Basalt Ravager, which will deal damage based on the number. So I'm going to actually hold my board right now. I really should not have kept this opening hand, so we're just kind of hoping that something works out here. Luckily, our opponent's only got 2 cards in hand, so if we can, I don't know, figure out a way to hold the fort. I'm going to go ahead with no blocks again, even though I'm really tempting fate here by not blocking, but... Okay, drawing a land was really good, but now do I want to pay the 2 life for it? I think I'm going to, as crazy as that seems. Because the sooner the better we can start getting rid of things with the Rock Slide. Okay, we'll hold off. I don't know why I want to make this a dramatic comeback, but that's kind of where it's leading to. Oh no! Oh. That hurt. Okay, so I guess we're going to have to block at this point. We were really close to pulling off something there, because that could have helped us take out 2 creatures. Oh, and I'm going to have to block with my flyer, too. Oh, well. But we're running out of choices. I usually always, like, give up blocks until the late in the game, and now it's haunting me, I guess. You know, that's an interaction that makes so much sense, and I think it's the first time I've ever seen anybody do it. Tap down creatures just to play that. Okay. Let's see. Let's go here. This is another deck that I didn't bring much artifact or enchantment removal. But you know, so this is one of the first decks I built when I got back to, or I got on Arena. And early on, I don't think I was doing a great job building, and one of those things that I wasn't doing well was good removal. Which this one has obviously good creature removal, which I do tend to consider more often, but it would have been much better off packing in some artifact and enchantment removal. But see, now when I build, I tend to pay more attention to that. Do we finally have enough? Okay. Mirror March is so crazy because it can go from turning a game around to just fizzling out and doing squat. And I hate to say it, but my luck tends to be the latter. Squat. And yet I still love playing it, even though it tends to do nothing for me. Alright, let's give it a shot. See, this is where we're supposed to get the big payoff. And let's see what it is. Actually, we're going to take action because we're going to let Viashino Pyromancer be our blocker and swing in the air. Okay. Let's see what the coin flip does. This is the big reveal. Watch it be 1. Oh, we got a couple. 3, 2. That's not bad. That's better than what I usually get. And see, now they can attack too. Oh, and now... Wait, how much land do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have enough to do both of these. Okay. Now that actually helps the Basalt Ravager. And if we get more coin flips off of this, this could turn out to be... Oh! That's awesome. We just kept holding the fort. No blocks. No blocks. Get down to the end. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. And started with that really bad keeper. Should not have kept that 2-land hand. The first, like I said, the game before made so much more sense. That I should not have kept. That was good stuff. What time is it? I've only got about 15 minutes or so before I have to get ready for the day job. So let's see. Should we try our luck again or try something else? I think I'm going to try my luck again. In the last 2 days, I've played several matches with this, and before that, it was literally like one of the bottom decks because it never gets played. Never gets played. So, this has been fun. I'm going to play it again. Oh man, thank you guys so much for hanging out. This has been so cool. I love raids now. I need to figure this thing out, but I appreciate you guys jumping in. Like I said, I've got about 15 minutes or so. If you will do me the big, huge, great favor of subscribing, doing all the helpful things, share, tell your buddies. We're streaming over here. I try to stick to a schedule. I am not the best at schedules. Yeah, definitely a good reason for me to have gotten out of the military. I don't do great with punctuality. Is tough. I do always play historic. So I used to play standard, and then honestly, as soon as historic ranked become a mainstay, I did get out of standard. Honestly, I don't think I have a single standard legal deck anymore. It just no longer appealed to me. It's not robust enough. So I just not enough variance in decks. I mean, I play a lot of jank stuff. I don't play a lot of meta decks, and so I want to get as much variety as I possibly can. That's just how my brain works in everything, not just arena. Like, I'm a variety is a spice of life kind of person. I just don't feel like I get enough of that in standard, so I just abandon it. I have abandoned standard. But anyway, so most of what you're going to get here is it's historic. It's going to be a huge variety. I mean, I am playing on the ladder, and we do climb, but it's just not a huge priority. So I just have to play various decks and try things out. Occasionally, I do try to cater towards players who may be newer or more unfamiliar, and I do play more, like I've actually done some really simple deck building, just some basic monocolor decks just to help out newer players. I don't do a lot of that, but I have done some of that as well. But usually it's just trying to see what quirky decks I can come up with in historic. Like, I find this one to be quirky. Actually, this one wasn't my original idea, which that's not a big deal anymore. I mean, original ideas are kind of hard to define when it comes to deck building, but let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this. It's not going to trigger a ton, but it's going to trigger a little bit. Like I said, this deck I did get elsewhere, but excuse me. But it's definitely mine now because I've adjusted it so much. All right, this turned out pretty good. So I also, like I said, I am new And even before this, I didn't pay a ton of attention to Twitch and streaming, so I'm even new just to the whole concept. And so, oh, nice, another win. This has been a good run. So one of the things I noticed when I first started checking out streaming is a lot of streamers were, or at least in Magic the Gathering, I have noticed that it's not this way across all game streaming. But when I first got into Magic the Gathering streaming, what I noticed is a lot of streamers are so focused on the game that they didn't not just interact in the sense of paying attention to the comments, but they also just didn't talk much. And when they did talk, it was, I don't know, just not very exciting. And I know there's plenty of streamers out there who aren't like that, but that was my introduction when I first started checking players out. And maybe that's because I went and checked out a pro player who I really enjoyed as a pro player, and then realized he's not necessarily a great streamer. And that was one of my first introductions. And then I watched a couple other streamers that I kind of felt were very similar. So one thing I do on my stream, I don't know how unique it is. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I do try to keep going as far as like the conversation, the talking, and I try to watch the chat. But to be honest, I'm so new. A lot of days there's not much going on in the chat, which means I have to sit here and carry a conversation on with the camera. And that can be entertaining, I suppose. But I don't like to just sit and play. So because of that, I guess it does mean I'm less focused again on being competitive and making, like, I am competitive, I guess, to a certain degree, but I'm more focused on a conversation, even if it's very one way. Even if nobody's in the chat. Not everyone being good entertainer. Some streamers can talk in 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah. Which is also funny because I have no background in entertainment. This last year for me, I've been picking up more and more things like this. So I do a couple podcasts now, which I should plug those real quick because they are on Spotify. If you are a Marvel fan, we've been doing a podcast called The Real for Real, which was initially just supposed to be about movies in general, just the concept of escaping kind of the stress of real life to dive into the cinema reel. And then it just morphed itself into a MCU podcast. So I'm plugging that. Yeah, I do like... Okay, so that's my guilty pleasure, is I do pay attention to wrestling, even though I don't watch a lot of it. I read a lot. So, like, I'll get on Bleacher Report and read the wrestling stuff. So, there's my guilty pleasure. Anyway, I'll plug another podcast real quick that I do. It's called The Rev Band-Aid Show, and it is not Magic the Gathering related, even though I do use Rev Band-Aid as my Twitch handle. The Rev Band-Aid Show on Spotify is actually a more theology-based podcast if you're into that stuff. But anyway, so I've started doing podcasts lately and started working a little bit with community theater, and it is all so completely and utterly new. Like, I have no background in any of these things. But here I am, enjoying pretending like I'm an entertainer, hopefully doing it well. I don't know. I'll definitely keep the land. So I explain this sometimes. I don't know if I've ever explained it on Twitch. I've explained it on my podcast, and I was talking to a friend the other day. I have this complex that I got from Gordon Ramsay on one of his Kitchen Nightmare episodes. Am I a real priest? No, I'm not. That would be amazingly entertaining, though, if I were. So the Rev Band-Aid moniker came back in high school when I was very, what's the word, zealous? I was a zealot, you could say. And not in a negative way. Like, I don't think I made people uncomfortable. I think I was just zealous in the sense that it was very clear who I was at that time. I'm not the same person, not it's not, I guess, positive or negative. I'm just different. I'm not the same person. But anyway, so that's where that kind of came from, because I was also working with the marching band at the time, and somebody thought it was really funny. It's like, oh, it's Rev Band-Aid. So it was a funny little joke that turned into a moniker. That's really all that is. But I do talk a lot of theology now, and actually more. My theology is now from a more deconstruction perspective. So if you're interested in that, check it out. If you're not interested in that, I also do this, so stick around. But yeah, so here I am, pretending like I'm an entertainer, even though I don't have any background in it whatsoever. But when I first got back into the game a few years ago, after a long hiatus, I thought I should try out this whole pro thing. Maybe I could go pro. Yeah, that thought didn't last very long, because it didn't take me long to realize I ain't that good. I'm not going to fool myself. So I might not be good enough to be a pro, but I guess I'm making a go at pretending like I can do this. I guess. So I'm not crazy about what our opponent's board is looking like, but our life total's fine, and I've got some tools, so that's why I'm just going to go ahead and get the Mirror March out now, and hopefully we draw something useful with it. Or, I mean, I do still have Yorion that can blink, but the problem is I got nothing on the field to blink for it. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have 4 counters here, so I could go there and Wizard's Lightning. Well, see, now I can't, because now it's even bigger. All right, let's go here. What is that? Pro isn't born pro, but they play 8 to 10. Yeah, see, that's kind of my thing. I can't commit to that right now. I would love to eventually. Yeah, definitely both. Okay, how many? So do we get 1 copy? Oh, this is interesting. Now, can this target... Oh, it has to target a creature. So we've got 5 counters. It costs 2. We can get rid of that 8/8. Let's do that. I need to get Yorion back in my hand now to trigger that. Okay. Oh, I forgot that's going to trigger too. So let's go there. Oh yeah, I definitely need to go ahead and get Yorion in my hand. Used to play someone who played really bad in 5 to 6 years ago. Now is pretty good in tournaments. Yeah, like I said, I think that was the thing I realized, maybe more so than my talent level, is I think I realized the time. I just don't have the time to commit to the grind, and which is fine. So I think, that doesn't take away from pro players to say that all they have is time. That's not a negative. But I don't have that time. I wish I did. I really wish I did. I'd much rather, and I guess that's kind of one reason why I started doing Twitch and podcasting and things like that in my spare time, because I would love to one day that not be my spare time. I'd love to do all that stuff full time, but I got to start somewhere. So that's kind of the idea. I'll start here. If it grows, then maybe one day it becomes not part-time anymore. Let's go here. So we have it in hand.